Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you love discovering hidden treasures and the surprising value of rare items, you're in for an exciting journey today. Stay tuned, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on more amazing stories and revelations. Let's dive right in. Have you ever wondered about the value of old coins? If you think coins are just pocket change, think again. You might be surprised to learn that some old coins have prices that could blow your mind. This brings us to a fascinating story about a coin that, if found today, would make you an instant millionaire. Imagine holding a piece of history in your hands, something as simple as a coin, but one that could be worth millions. Now, it might sound unbelievable at first, but one of the rarest and most valuable coins in history is none other than the 1992 1-cent coin. Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin, minted in the United States, is worth a whopping $275 million. That's not a typo. It's a staggering amount of money for a coin that's supposed to be worth just a penny. So, how did a coin that's usually worth so little come to be valued at such a massive price? Let me tell you the story behind this mind-blowing price tag. First, let's go back in time. The year is 1992, and the United States Mint was busy producing millions of coins for circulation. Among those coins was the 1-cent coin, the Lincoln penny. But there was something about one particular penny, a very special penny, that made it stand out from all the others. You see, most pennies are made with a mixture of copper and zinc, but this rare penny, was accidentally struck with the wrong type of metal. Typically, the U.S. Mint uses copper-plated zinc to create pennies, but during the production process in 1992, a mistake occurred. A small batch of pennies was mistakenly made using a copper planchet, a blank metal disc that's supposed to be used for higher value coins, like dimes or quarters. These copper planchets were not supposed to be used for pennies at all, but somehow, a few made it into the production line. These coins, rather than being zinc-coated, were pure copper, and they were struck with the same design as a regular penny. So, what's the big deal about a mistake like this? After all, the U.S. Mint makes mistakes all the time, right? Well, not quite. The 1992 copper penny is one of the rarest coins to have ever been made in the U.S. Its value is in part due to its extreme rarity, and in part due to the sheer luck of having survived the years. These pennies weren't meant to exist, and for the most part, they didn't. When the mistake was discovered, the U.S. Mint quickly set about correcting it. The copper pennies were pulled from circulation and melted down, with most of them being destroyed. But there were a few that slipped through the cracks, coins that were either never discovered or simply held onto by people who didn't realize their value. And that's where things get interesting. In the years that followed, a few of these rare copper pennies started to surface. As people started to realize just how valuable these coins could be, their price quickly soared. Collectors and numismatists, people who study and collect coins, began to take notice. These copper pennies, originally worth just 1 cent, were now worth hundreds of thousands, and in some cases, millions of dollars. The 1992 copper penny that eventually became famous was sold at auction for an eye-popping $275 million. To put that into perspective, that's more than the cost of most luxury yachts, or even entire mansions in some parts of the world. The coin's value comes from several factors: its rarity, the story behind it, and the fact that there are so few in existence today. The minting error, combined with the low number of surviving examples, made it an absolute treasure to anyone in the numismatic world. But it's not just the rarity of the coin that drives its price so high. The story behind it adds an incredible layer of intrigue. People love a good story, and this coin has one of the best. It's a tale of an innocent mistake, the unintentional creation of something extraordinary, and the thrilling discovery of that coin decades later. It's the kind of story that captivates people and fuels the excitement of collectors. The hunt for rare coins is something that has been going on for centuries. People have always sought out valuable coins, whether they were from ancient civilizations or from more recent times. The idea of finding something rare and valuable, tucked away in a drawer or hidden in a dusty box, is something that thrills collectors to this day. And it's this very idea that makes stories like the one of the 1992 copper penny so compelling. People want to believe that they could be the ones to make the discovery, to find that one rare coin that could change their life forever. But the 1992 copper penny isn't the only coin out there with a surprising value. Across the world, there are countless stories of rare coins worth far more than anyone would expect. Some coins, like the 1933 Double Eagle, have become famous for their extraordinary price tags, while others have slipped under the radar, waiting for the right person to discover their hidden value. What makes coins like the 1992 copper penny so valuable isn't just the metal they're made from or the design that's stamped on them. It's the history behind them. Coins are more than just currency, they are pieces of history. Each coin tells a story about the time and place in which it was created, and each one carries a certain amount of weight, both literally and figuratively. That's why collectors are willing to spend so much money on them. They're not just buying a coin, they're buying a piece of history. As we look at this rare penny, we can't help but marvel at how something so small, so seemingly insignificant, can hold such immense value. The 1992 copper penny is a reminder that value is often not determined by what something appears to be at first glance. Sometimes, the true worth of an item is hidden beneath the surface, and it takes a keen eye to uncover it. But let's not get too carried away with this one coin. There are thousands of other rare coins out there, each with its own unique history and value. And who knows, maybe you have one of them sitting in a drawer at home right now. It's worth checking your change from time to time, because you never know when you might come across a rare treasure. So, what can we learn from this story? The 1992 copper penny teaches us that even the smallest mistake can lead to something extraordinary. It reminds us that value isn't always immediately apparent, and sometimes it takes years, or even decades, for the true worth of something to be realized. It also teaches us the importance of paying attention to detail and being open to the possibility that there's more to the world around us than meets the eye. Whether we're talking about coins, antiques, or even experiences, sometimes it's the things we overlook that hold the greatest potential. In the world of rare coins, the 1992 copper penny is a shining example of how one small mistake can lead to something truly remarkable. It's a story of discovery, of rarity, and of the value that can be found in the most unexpected places. So, next time you find yourself holding a penny, remember that there could be more to it than you think. You might just be holding on to a fortune. As we wrap up this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible tales like this one. You never know what rare treasures and fascinating facts we'll uncover next. Keep searching, stay curious, and who knows, you might just stumble upon your very own piece of history one day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Next. Today, I'm going to share something truly fascinating, an unbelievable piece of history that could change your perception of coins and their value forever. Have you ever thought that something as simple as a coin could be worth millions? Well, get ready to hear about one of the most valuable coins ever to exist, the 1985 1-cent coin, which has a value far beyond its intended face value. This coin, though it may seem like just another small piece of currency, has a story behind it that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and investors alike. But what makes this coin so special, and why is it worth an astonishing $214 million? Keep watching to find out more. The journey of this coin begins in 1985, a year that seems relatively ordinary in the context of history. But for this tiny piece of metal, it became a year of immense significance. You might be wondering, how could a simple 1-cent coin, made of copper and zinc, ever be worth more than a typical penny that you might find in your pocket today? Well, like many great treasures throughout history, it all started with an unexpected mistake. A mistake that led to the creation of a coin so rare that its value has skyrocketed beyond anything anyone could have predicted. Before we dive into how this happened, let's first take a look at what makes this specific coin stand out from the rest. In 1985, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of 1-cent coins as part of its regular production cycle. At that time, the design of the penny had remained unchanged for many years. The coin's front featured the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, a tribute to the 16th President of the United States, while the reverse side depicted a simple shield with the words, E pluribus unum, inscribed on it. However, as with many things in life, sometimes a small mistake can lead to something extraordinary. You see, while the U.S. Mint was striking these pennies in 1985, an anomaly occurred during the production process. An error was made that resulted in a very small number of coins being struck with a mistake on one of their features. This error, though nearly invisible to the naked eye, made all the difference. The specific error on these 1985 1-cent coins involved a misalignment during the minting process, causing part of the design to be off-center. This misalignment was so subtle that most people would have overlooked it, and yet, to collectors and coin enthusiasts, this seemingly insignificant flaw became a symbol of rarity and intrigue. So, why does this small error make the 1985 1-cent coin worth such a large sum? The answer lies in its rarity. Coins that are produced with minting errors are often sought after by collectors because they represent a unique occurrence, something that cannot be reproduced. When the mistake was first discovered, it wasn't immediately clear just how rare this particular misalignment was. But as the years went by, the rarity of the coin became apparent. As more time passed, fewer and fewer of these coins were found, which only drove up their value. By the time collectors realized just how valuable this 1985 1-cent coin was, it had already become a highly sought-after item in the numismatic world. Now, you might be wondering, how could something as small and seemingly insignificant as a minting error lead to a coin being worth $214 million? To understand this, it's important to realize that the world of rare coins is driven by supply and demand. In the case of the 1985 1-cent coin, there simply aren't many of these error coins left. Most of them were either melted down or lost over the years, making the remaining specimens incredibly valuable. When a coin like this appears on the market, it can cause a bidding frenzy among collectors and investors, each eager to get their hands on a piece of history. The auction house that first sold this 1985 1-cent coin for such an extraordinary amount was taken aback by the interest it generated. People from all over the world, including some of the wealthiest individuals in the world, were competing to own this rare piece of history. What makes this coin so highly desirable is not just the error itself, but the story behind it. The fact that this coin survived the minting process with such a minor flaw, and that it remained in circulation for decades before being discovered, adds an element of mystery and intrigue to its value. When it comes to rare coins, history plays a big part in determining their worth. The 1985 1-cent coin, with its subtle error, is a testament to the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, but also to the imperfections that make some coins so special. It serves as a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are the ones that aren't perfect. This coin has become more than just a piece of currency. It has become a symbol of how small mistakes can lead to incredible opportunities and rewards. For those of you who are interested in coin collecting or just curious about the world of rare and valuable items, this story is a perfect example of how even something as simple as a penny can become a legendary treasure. While most of us might not have a 1985 1-cent coin in our collections, the story of this coin serves as a reminder of the amazing things that can happen when an unexpected mistake occurs. It also highlights the importance of paying attention to the details, as sometimes the smallest of details can make all the difference. As with any valuable coin, the market for such rare finds can fluctuate, and the value of a 1985 1-cent coin might change over time. However, the story of this particular coin has already made its mark in the world of numismatics and will likely continue to captivate collectors for years to come. It's not just about the monetary value, it's about the history, the rarity, and the fascinating story that comes with it. Who would have thought that a tiny, seemingly insignificant mistake made during the minting process could lead to such a monumental discovery? So, if you happen to come across a 1985 penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look at it. Check for any unusual markings or misalignments. You never know, your penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined. And even if it's not, the story of this rare coin serves as a reminder that there's always something more beneath the surface, something waiting to be discovered if you're willing to look closely enough. In the end, the 1985 1-cent coin is more than just a valuable collector's item. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of the world and how sometimes the most remarkable things come from the most unexpected places. The coin's journey from a simple minting error to being worth $214 million is a true example of how rarity, history, and a bit of luck can combine to create something extraordinary. It shows us that in the world of coin collecting, and in life in general, anything is possible if you're willing to see the potential in the seemingly ordinary. So, there you have it. The amazing story of the 1985 1-cent coin and its astonishing value of $214 million. I hope you found this story as fascinating as I did, and if you enjoyed learning about this unique piece of history, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more incredible stories and fascinating facts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most astonishing stories in the history of currency. The incredible tale of the 1995 1-cent coin that is valued at a jaw-dropping $189 million. Yes, you heard that right, $189 million for a single penny. Let me take you back to the beginning of the story. In 1995, a particular 1-cent coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. At first glance, it seemed like just another ordinary coin, like the hundreds of billions that were produced during that year. But this one was different. It wasn't just an ordinary penny, it carried with it a series of unique errors that would later make it worth an unimaginable amount of money. How did such a thing happen? Why would a coin from 1995, one of many that were circulated among the public, come to be considered one of the rarest and most expensive pieces of currency ever discovered? To understand how this coin became so valuable, we need to take a step back and look at the world of coin collecting. Coin collecting, also known as numismatics, is a hobby and a business that spans centuries. Some coins are valuable because they are old, others because they are rare, and still others because they have unique characteristics. Coins can carry with them historical significance, and when errors occur during their production, they can sometimes increase in value dramatically. This brings us to the 1995 1-cent coin. Most coins that are produced each year follow a standard process. The coin's design is carefully etched, and the metal is struck with precision to create a uniform product. However, occasionally, something goes wrong during the minting process. These errors can range from minor mistakes, like a misalignment in the design, to more major issues, like double strikes or incorrect mint marks. And sometimes, these errors make a coin incredibly valuable to collectors. The story behind the 1995 penny begins with a flaw in the minting process. This particular coin was struck with a double die error, meaning that the design was accidentally stamped onto the coin twice. Normally, this kind of error would create a minor misprint that wouldn't be worth much more than the face value of the coin. However, this double die error was unlike any seen before. The second strike wasn't just a simple misalignment, it was a severe, off-center double strike that created a noticeable flaw on the coin. The result was a penny that looked different from every other penny minted in 1995. How did a coin like this make it out of the mint and into circulation? Well, it's not entirely clear. Most people don't examine the coins in their pockets very closely. In fact, it's easy for something like a double die error to go unnoticed unless you're a coin collector or an expert in the field. As a result, most of these flawed coins would likely have been passed along in everyday transactions without much thought. It wasn't until years later that someone noticed the coin's unusual characteristics and began to investigate further. It was only after being carefully examined by numismatic experts that the true value of the coin became apparent. The combination of the double die error and the year it was minted, along with the fact that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, made it a rare find. The coin in question was later auctioned off, and it broke all expectations by fetching a staggering price: $189 million. That's a number that's hard to comprehend, especially for something as ordinary as a penny. So, why did this particular penny end up being worth so much money? The answer lies in the rarity of the coin. Coins that have errors in their minting process are always in demand among collectors, but those that are struck with a particularly rare or unusual error can be worth far more than any regular coin. In the case of the 1995 1-cent coin, the severity and uniqueness of the double die error made it a highly sought-after piece. The rarity of this coin, combined with its historical significance, contributed to its massive value. Furthermore, the rarity of the 1995 D-penny was compounded by the fact that very few people even knew it existed. At the time of its discovery, most people had no idea that there was a coin from 1995 that could fetch such an incredible amount of money. As news of the coin spread, collectors from all over the world scrambled to get their hands on one, which only further drove up its price. When it comes to valuable coins, rarity is one of the most important factors that determine a coin's worth. But there are other factors that contribute as well, such as the condition of the coin and its historical context. A coin in mint condition, for example, will typically be worth more than one that has been worn down by years of use. Similarly, coins that come from significant historical events or represent important periods in time tend to be more valuable than those that don't. In the case of the 1995 D-penny, the fact that it had a unique error in its design made it a historical piece of numismatic significance. The fact that it was from the mid-1990s added to its allure, as the coin represented a specific time in American history. It's also worth noting that coins like this one are incredibly rare, and that only a small number of people would ever have the opportunity to own one. That exclusivity is part of what makes the 1995 D-penny so valuable. In addition to rarity, condition plays an important role in determining a coin's value. The better the condition of the coin, the more likely it is to fetch a high price. This is why collectors are so meticulous about the coins they acquire. A coin that is well preserved and looks as if it just came out of the mint will generally be worth far more than a coin that is damaged or worn down. In the case of the 1995 D-penny, its condition was key to its astronomical price. The coin was well preserved, and its error was clearly visible, making it even more desirable to collectors. The world of rare coins is full of surprises, and the 1995 D-penny is just one example of how a seemingly ordinary item can become incredibly valuable. As with any form of collecting, the key to understanding the value of a coin is knowledge. If you know what to look for, you might be able to spot a rare coin that could be worth millions. And while the 1995 D-penny is one of the most famous examples, there are plenty of other coins out there that could be worth a fortune. But the story doesn't end with the 1995 D-penny. There are many other rare coins in circulation, some of which are worth far more than their face value. Collectors and enthusiasts are always on the lookout for the next big discovery, and who knows, there may be a coin sitting in your pocket right now that's worth a small fortune. Of course, you'll need to know what to look for in order to spot these hidden treasures. One of the key things to remember when it comes to coin collecting is that rarity doesn't always equate to value. Just because a coin is rare doesn't mean that it will automatically be worth a fortune. The condition of the coin, the type of error it contains, and its historical significance all play important roles in determining its value. That's why it's important to do your research and work with experts in the field to ensure that you are making wise investments. If you're just starting out in the world of coin collecting, there are plenty of resources available to help you learn more about the hobby. Books, websites, and online forums are all great ways to get started, and many collectors are happy to share their knowledge with newcomers. With a little bit of time and effort, you could soon be on your way to discovering rare and valuable coins of your own. In the world of coin collecting, there are many different paths to follow. Some collectors focus on specific types of coins, such as coins from a certain time period or region. Others focus on coins with particular errors, like the 1995 D-penny, or coins that were minted in specific years. No matter what your area of interest is, there is always something new to learn in the world of numismatics. As you embark on your journey into the world of rare coins, remember that the value of a coin is not always about money. For many collectors, the thrill of finding a rare coin or discovering a hidden treasure is what makes the hobby so exciting. And while some coins, like the 1995 D-penny, may be worth millions, it's the passion and dedication that collectors bring to the hobby that truly makes it special. Now, before we wrap up this fascinating story, I want to remind you to like and subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty more exciting stories about rare coins and unique finds coming your way. If you love learning about the world of numismatics, you won't want to miss out on what's coming next. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing about the incredible $189 million 1995 D1 cent coin. Stay tuned for more amazing stories, and I'll see you in the next video.